we want to talk about is what we are here for you, which is to run a hospital for the local population and to provide the services that you need, and that's what we're going to talk about.
From my perspective, I couldn't have been prouder of my organisation and the contribution that the hospital made to the events last year, but also from our perspective, our ongoing role in connecting with the community. I think we should all be incredibly proud of our city and incredibly proud of what we've achieved, and I'm delighted to be part of this community as well. We continue to see increasing pressure around availability of community services and support for people to be able to go home from hospital. One of the things that we're very active about in the organisation is making sure that we're doing everything we can to get people back home as quickly as possible. But we continue to have really good performance around our elective pathways or 18-week. Our diagnostic has improved, and we also see strong performance around our cancer pathways as well. And I'm really delighted just to highlight around our C. difficile infections. We actually, as an acute hospital, have one of the lowest rates in England. I think the biggest thing from my perspective is the savings that the Trust has been able to make last year, which saw them make over £10 million of savings just through working differently and improving the way that we're delivering services. One of the biggest things is, of course, we had our CQC inspection in the last 12 months. I am so delighted with the results. If you remember, we were requires improvement as an organisation, and I'm delighted now to be able to say that we are now rated good as an organisation, and we also were rated outstanding for our critical care unit, which is amazing.
Good evening, my name is Alison Richards. I'm a clinical nurse specialist in end-of-life care. When a patient dies in hospital, ward staff will feel a range of emotions, including deep sadness and regret. Traditionally, many nurses will leave a small posy of flowers with the patient as a final act of caring, and so I collaborated with a number of different teams within the hospital to start a project where beautiful cream-coloured paper flowers are made by volunteer crafters and distributed across the wards for use by nursing staff.
1819 is a good news story. The Trust improved on its deficit in 1819 compared to previous year, moving from a nearly 12 million to a 4 million deficit. But we have done some really good projects in Capital this year. We have a new pharmacy robot. We bought equipment like echo machines, ultrasound and radiology equipment. We've addressed building issues, heating, pipework in our children's ward. The list is endless.
Here is a specific patient story that took place during 1819.
Immediately, the team spoke to us. We had non-stop nurses coming in, giving us updates, telling us what is going on. And the fact that they reacted with such speed, with doctors being brought from home in the middle of the night. And I mean, they spared no resource whatsoever just to make sure my child is being looked after. We were never for a second being talked down to. There was no trace of arrogance. Everybody was so empathetic and caring.
We have a really strong affiliation with the military, and we're one of the first organisations to sign the Armed Forces Covenant, which we did in 2017. We also have a Veteran Hospital Alliance status and also Veteran Aware status.
It gives us quite a depth, multi-layered view of what is actually happening. And I think we are pretty well positioned that we can discuss, question, challenge in a constructive environment and in a spirit of quite openness and transparency.
Cara and I do our level best, but we are supported tremendously by every one of our 4,500 staff. We couldn't do it without them. So I'll make that point. And equally, we couldn't do it without you, sitting in the audience. Not, you attend something like this to understand what your local hospital is doing, and then you feed back to us what we should be doing. If we didn't have that sort of dialogue with our population, we wouldn't be able to achieve what we do. Thank you.